What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my review of American Gods, Season 1, Episode 5, titled Lemon Scented You. All right. Let's get into it. First, the synopsis reads, Shadow's emotional reunion with his dead and unfaithful wife is interrupted when he and Mr. Wednesday are kidnapped by the new gods. This was a great episode. I don't know if it's my favorite of the season, but it's up there. 1, 2, and 5, it's hard to juggle. I'm going to say it's between 2 and 5 on my favorite episodes, but this one might just be my favorite one. I don't know. It was fantastic in my opinion. All right, let's get into it. So, that opening scene, this is one of my favorite opening scenes of this show. I'm so glad they went back to telling us stories of gods and whatnot. Now, this particular story, the god in which they were speaking of, who cares? I don't even think that mattered. The point of this week's opening scene was to explain to us how gods work. They're born in the hearts of men, and they also die when the man's faith in them or belief in them dies. Brilliantly done. I love how it was animated. It gave me a feel of, if you've ever seen Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, that they have like an opening montage that's very similar in its animation. I liked it very, very much. Like I said, I don't think it was so important on what was going on as it was on the narration, if you were paying attention to the narrator, who is the dude that was rolling with Anubis. His name escapes me right now, but sorry about that. All right, so first let's talk about Shadow and Laura. Oh man, I really like what they're doing with this character of Laura Moon. How she's like a zombie, but it's like a different kind of zombie than we've ever seen. I understand why. It's because, you know, that now we have a confirmation that it's the coin keeping her alive. I think we all suspected that anyway. So they just, the way they're handling it, I really like how she's like a god in her own right, but a zombie like The Walking Dead. Like, I just loved it. But anyway, back to her and Shadow. So I really thought Shadow was going to be like, oh, yeah, I love you, you know, blah, blah, blah. I guess I kind of understand why he did what he did. But he didn't. He was basically like, screw you, man. I'm not your puppy. I'm not your pet no more. Like, move on, little dead girl. I love that. I just love that whole interaction. The writing on the show is so good to me. Even the 2 episodes I didn't care for that much, 3 and 4. Not that I didn't care for them. I just didn't think they were as strong as the other ones. The writing was still good in them. But, you know, it's fantastic writing in this episode. Alright, so I don't want to stick to Laura and Shadow too much, but the title, Lemon Scented You, goes right directly to them because of all the chemicals and stuff that are on Laura, you know, to kind of keep her looking fresh and cute, right? Alright, so yeah, that's all I'm going to say about their interaction. I really liked it. It was unexpected for me on 2 reasons. I didn't expect her to be so quick to think that Shadow was going to be like back with her okay and everything, because it seemed like she really thought he was going to be her puppy and fall right into her arms, you know? And I didn't expect her to be like, to think that way. And I thought Shadow was going to crumble like the little puppy that he is. And they didn't go that route with him either. My hair's looking a little crazy. They didn't go that route with him either. So, yeah, I like that. I always like when they deviate from what you're expecting. And then I love when Wednesday comes to the door and he's like, what is that? Cat piss and oven cleaner, smelling all the, you know, the chemicals and stuff, right? I love that. I love Ian McShane, man. He's so good, and his delivery is always so natural. It never feels like it's written down. every time I hear Ian McShane, no matter what movie or show he's in, he makes the dialogue sound so natural and fluid that he's just such a great actor, that guy. All right, so they get abducted with the cops. Now, I thought the whole time that the cops were somehow under a spell by the new gods or something like that. Because I knew the new gods were coming from, the trailer, the previews for this episode. I mean, sure, we all knew that, right? But I thought they was like under some sort of spell. So I was surprised when they were all dead at the end. Like, that was crazy to me. But I'm jumping ahead. So before I get into new god stuff real quick, I absolutely loved. You know what? This is my favorite episode, I think, man. I absolutely love the stuff with Laura and Mad Sweeney. It not only was it like comedy gold, I was laughing the whole time. The dialogue was so good, the acting was so good in that, and just the way they show the coin inside was amazing. The visuals and the way that they show like how Laura is learning how to control her strength and her power. I loved that whole dynamic between them. How Mad Sweeney was ready to do anything to get his coin back, and he can't just take it. I believe that's in like old Leprechaun like lore. If the gold, if you obtain the gold or something, they can't just take it back. You got to give it back, something like that. I don't know. I feel like I heard that somewhere before. I really, really, really enjoyed that though. Okay. Next up, let's move on to the new god stuff because I'll probably end up rambling throughout the rest of the video about that. Oh, where do I start? What they're doing with media is absolutely amazing. I love the Lucy stuff. And then they had like some British, I don't know, she reminded me of like one of the girls in the background of like a Robert Palmer video. Or like, I don't know, a female version of like, oh, what's that guy's name? Bob Dylan? Oh, I don't know. But I don't know if she was supposed to be somebody famous, like I would imagine she was because of the other people. I didn't look anything up. I recorded this as soon as I watched the episode. It was so good. I wanted to get this out there because I'm so hyped. And I know when I'm excited and I'm like really feeling it, I know you guys feel it too. I could just tell by the amount of views, the duration, the amount of the video watched from you guys when I'm excited about something is different from when I'm just like blah. So, all right, so I love what they're doing with media. I think Gillian Anderson, if you didn't know, that's Gillian Anderson from The X-Files, playing the Marilyn Monroe and the British punk one and the Lucy, the god media. And she seems to be very powerful. The way she blows a kiss and knocks out Technological Boy's teeth, I rewound it. I loved it. It was such a good scene. I love the graphics in this show and the way it's shot is so beautiful. Such a good show. The use of the music is good. All right, I'm rambling. Sorry. So, media love. Technological Boy, I like him too. How he's like, seems like the youngest of the new gods. Like maybe the least powerful of them all. But that makes sense because as the new gods have been emerging, the last one so far that we've seen anyway would be technology and stuff. So that makes total sense, right? Because technology is today's day and age, where media would have been around from, the 50s or whatever, So I love it. It's so good. And they seem scared. Not so much Technological Boy, but that's because he's young and naive. But Mr. World and media seem like they're a little scared of Wednesday. So that's why they want him to join. They're scared to go up against Wednesday because they said it in this episode, so I can say it now. That's Odin, man. Like, Odin, dude. Anthony Hopkins, Odin. Like, you're not messing with the All-Father. Are you kidding me? They're petrified of that guy. Even though he may not be as strong as he once was, somehow he's retained a large portion of strength. And I'm sure that's one of the mysteries that we'll get to at some point in the series, is how he still remains strong when the other old gods seem to be waning in power very much. Now, we don't know how much he's waning or how strong he is, but dude, he slams his fist down and that whole vision that the new gods were putting up there just goes away. So all right, now let's get to Mr. World. Crispin Glover, yes, he does appear goofy and not that scary or serious, but somehow the way he delivers his lines in that whisper with that creepy like Joker, Riddler, like Psycho, like Arkham, those games type of look to his face, he was scared. He sent chills down my spine a few times, especially when his face started to morph and all these weird things. Now, I don't really understand him too much, but Mr. World, he just seems to be a god of the world where people worship each other and themselves, and he just seems to be able to tap into all of that because he straight up calls out shadow on everything, and he does it in such a way that was fantastic and brilliantly written, all the way from the beginning when he's just telling them his name, to when he's telling them that his mother had 86 sexual partners, to when he shows him his masturbation face. Like, incredible. I loved it so much. Now, with all that being said, fantastic all around the episode, and this isn't a complaint I'm getting to. Ricky Whittle's performance in this episode was the best he's ever done, because if his acting wasn't where it was, where he was like, what is going on, scared to death, the way it was shot and his acting put that fear in me. Like, my heart started racing, and I started feeling really tense about the situation and uneasy about what was going on. So kudos to of course the writing as always, but mostly Ricky Whittle's performance and the cinematography, the way it was shot was so good, and the music and everything. A really good scene. I mean, like, really. I already went over the title meaning. That was basically everything that happened in the episode worth talking about. Let's see. The episode standout as far as an actor goes, this was rough for me, man. So many good performances in here, but I'm gonna give a tie to Ricky Whittle and Ian McShane. Even though I loved Emily Browning, that's Laura. I loved her in this episode. I thought she was really good. I thought Mad Sweeney was really good. And I thought Media was really good. And everybody was so good in this episode. It's hard to pick somebody. So I'm giving a tie to Ian McShane and Ricky Whittle. But everybody else is like a tie for the next runner-up. Production standout, cinematography. The way this episode was shot was so beautiful. Everything from the camera angles to the zooms to the motion of the camera to the special effects. Everything about this episode was fantastic. This was like watching a movie on point. Loved it. This is definitely, as I'm going with this review and remembering and talking, this was my favorite episode of the season, bar none. My favorite moment of the entire episode, my favorite moment was definitely that whole scene in the interrogation room with the new gods, Wednesday and Shadow. It was a toss between that and the Mad Sweeney scene, because that was a great scene too. And that opening scene was like a standout. I really want to give it to all three. It's getting so hard to pick. This episode was so fantastic. Okay, my least favorite thing about the episode, well, I miss Chernabog. He's such a good, and I like Cloris Leachman's character. That's not really a complaint, wanting to see more of the other characters, you know. No complaints really, man. So this definitely was a pleasant treat compared to the last two episodes that were just like okay, you know. So and then this one to me is better than the first two. So great job all around. My rating on this one, honestly, I wouldn't change a thing. It was perfect. I loved it. 5 out of 5. This is the second show this week. I gave it 5 out of 5 to Fargo too, which was also a fantastic episode. TV, man, I am in heaven. Are you guys feeling the same? Let me know down below. Let me know if you're feeling like you're in TV heaven right now. I think I'm going to do a separate video all about that. Let me know what you thought about this episode of American Gods, most importantly. Season 1, Episode 5, Lemon Scented You. Let me know what you think about the show in general. Definitely always want you guys to let me know about my videos on my channel, any critiques, criticisms. Any criticism is a good criticism in my book, good, bad, or ugly. I need to hear it. I need to improve, right? Yeah, and that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day. I'm trying to get the time down. I'm working on it. Some changes to come with the channel and the format and stuff, but I'll put you on to that at a later date. Check out the channel for more stuff, more American Gods. We got Better Call Saul. We got Fargo. I'm a huge Walking Dead, Game of Thrones fan, so we got stuff for that going on too. And tons of movies. I'm a movie head as well, so check out the movies as well. Definitely check out the channel if you haven't already. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks again for watching. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.